welcome to today's yoga class. Today, as you can see from the title, we're working through a variety of sun salutations, which to some people may feel very familiar if you've worked on them before, but hopefully it'll be slightly educational in learning the difference between the two, and then we'll be doing some creative variations. You may find a block useful for one or two poses. You may also find a strap useful. I'm thinking only for cow face arms. If you struggle to find your bind here, you might find it a little bit more accessible just to use a strap so that you can hold that shape. As far as I can remember, there's nothing much more that you would need it for. So if that's not you, don't worry if you've not got one. Because it is sun salutations, that means we're moving through vinyasas. Don't worry if that terminology doesn't mean anything to you, but I'm going to be giving different options for different levels of abilities, because it's something that is very variable between people. So hopefully there's something that suits you best and you can choose the one that works best for you. So that's enough jibber jabber. We're going to start today down in child's pose. So if you take your knees about as wide as your mat, your big toes to come to touch, sink your heels nice and close towards your heels, and then the hands to walk away. The forehead can then rest down onto the floor. Just let your body find a soft shape here. So I'm not trying to pull or push ourselves into anything that the body doesn't just naturally rest into. Find a softness in the arms, the elbows rest against the floor. A softness across the face, choosing to close your eyes. And just feeling a heaviness in the pelvis. Taking a little mental scan of the body, feeling the different body parts in contact with the mat. The hands, the forearms, the forehead, the knees, the tops of the feet. And then feel the parts of the body that your breath moves into. As you inhale, filling the lungs and feeling that rounding sensation in the back. And as you exhale, feeling that softness, that shrink, and that heaviness of the body down towards the mat. Again, breathing in, feel the space that you create. And breathing out, feel the softness. And then staying in your child's pose here, let's start to activate the shape a little bit. So really spider crawl those fingers as far out to the top of your mat as you can. You can even stack them up onto fingertips. So now the elbows and the forearms are floating. Shoulder blades are broadening across the upper back and the armpits are lifting away. So we're opening into the upper body. Press down into those fingertips to help a little bit more of your body weight shift back towards your heels. Breathing in, broaden through the torso. Breathing out, sinking the belly between the thighs. Take one more deep breath in here. And then allow your hands to walk off the right side of the mat. Keep your body nice and long. Crawling, crawling, crawling. Keeping that left sit bone nice and close down towards your left heel. And then there's the option for your left hand to hold on to your right if you'd like to deepen the stretch. And feel like you're pushing your body weight out in that left direction, into that left side of the rib cage. Breathe into it, inhale. And exhale. One more, breathe in. And then use your exhale to send it all the way over to the other side. Think of your belly coming towards your left thigh, your chest towards your left knee, and then there's the option for the right hand to hold the left hand as your head hangs between the arms. Breathing in, feel your rib cage grow wide. Breathing out, keep compressing the torso towards this left leg. One more, breathe in. And then breathing out to walk the hands back onto the mat and then all the way in towards you until you're sat onto your shins. Then you can just bring your legs a little closer together. Interlacing your hands, turn the palms to face forwards. Press those palms away as you round your upper back. Hollow out the front of the body and feel like you're pushing your spine out behind you. With the inhale, the arms then go to the sky. The gaze goes with them. Press the palms as if you're trying to touch the ceiling. On the exhale, release the hands and interlace them into a fist behind your back. With the inhale, draw the fist down towards your feet, puff your chest up towards the sky, lift your chin and open the front line of the body. Releasing as you roll the shoulders forwards and taking the same again. Interlaced hands, press them away from you, hollow body. Inhale, take the hands to the sky, lengthening the side body. Exhale to release and interlace the hands behind you. Breathing in, puff the chest to the sky, shoulder blades squeeze together. This time keep that fist behind you, belly towards thighs, chin towards chest. As you fold over your legs, maybe your forehead can rest to the floor, don't worry if it doesn't, and lift your arms away from your body. Strong between the shoulder blades, rounding through the back. Holding those arms in the air, breathe in. And then breathe out, lower the fist back down towards your bum as you unravel and sit yourself back up onto your shins. We're going to move through some warming up for the wrists. When we do vinyasas and sun salutes, a lot of body weight is taken through the arms and our wrists need a little bit of warming up. So take palm to palm and just interlace your hands and start to make some circular motions. Not really a right or a wrong way to do this here, just finding some movements into the wrists. You can then undo your hands and give your wrists a little shake, up and down, left to right, backwards, forwards, little hand dance. And then come to bring your hands out onto the mat in front of you, so into tabletop. Start to allow your body weight just to shift all around the different surface area of your hands. So forwards and backwards towards the heels of the hands and into the fingers, left and right towards the thumb and towards the little finger. Just allowing those wrists to get used to bearing some weight. You can change direction, doesn't make much difference. And then allow yourself just to come back again towards your shins, so there's less weight we're going to put into the hands. I want you to turn your palms to face upwards and your fingertips to face towards one another. So not as much weight into the arms as you would be in your tabletop, there's more into the legs. And then just start to make fists and then expand, or what you think will be a fist, but suddenly you'll realise your inability to do it when your hands are upside down. But I want you to really think of a tight fist and then an expanding hand, and feel, you might even be able to see the muscles on your forearms moving and wiggling as you do so. You can start to move those hands a little bit faster and wondering why it's so difficult to make your fingertips come together. But just finding that movement, and then go as fast as you can for your last few little pulses. Doesn't take long to feel the burn there. And then sit yourself back, and once again, a soft little shake out of the hands, soft little shake out of the wrists. Then draw yourself back onto your hands and knees. We're going to take a couple of cats and cows. So as you inhale, dip the ribs down to the mat, lift the chest and push your sit bones to the sky. As you exhale, round your back, hollowing out the belly and push your spine to the sky. Make as much distance between your mat and your chest as you can. Again, breathing in, pull the chest forwards, feel like you're pulling the mat back towards you. And breathing out to round the back. And then draw yourself back to neutral. I want you to stack your hands up onto fingertips, so like those little tents that we did in child's pose. It might not work, but give it a go. I want you, with your right leg, think of knee towards chest. Think of that rounded spine, as much distance between the mat and your chest as you can, and see if you can put your foot between your hands. So compress belly to thighs to help it get there. If you have to lift the hand, it's not the end of the world. Keep a nice boxy lunge, so knee on top of ankle, hips on top of back knee, and draw your torso nice and tall. Tuck the tailbone under, think of a flat front left side, and then right forearm to rest onto your front thigh. Inhale, left arm goes to the sky. Take your gaze slightly underneath the armpit, push your hips a little bit towards the left as you lean a little bit with the torso towards the right. So it's that whole left side of the body that feels that open, pretty much from the kneecap all the way up towards the elbow. Keep that tailbone tucked, take a deep breath in. And then breathing out, draw your hands back to the floor, little tense fingertips. See if you can keep those fingertips down and swipe the foot back, a little bit easier in that direction. Same on the left side, rounded, domed back, hold your core in tight. Think of knee towards chest and see if you can place that foot between your hands. Draw your torso up tall, tuck that tailbone flat on that right side. Left forearm to the left thigh. Inhale, right arm goes tall. With the exhale, hips go a little bit to the right, torso goes a little bit to the left, and keep thinking of rolling that shoulder back to keep the upper body nice and open. Breathing in and breathing out. Great. Both hands back to the floor, little fingertips again, and then swipe yourself back towards tabletop. Hands flat onto the mat, maybe step your knees back a little further, coming into down dog. Toes tuck under, hips lift to the sky, press your thighs backwards, press your chest back towards your thighs, and find that nice broadness between the shoulder blades as you switch on into those upper body muscles. You can take a little wiggle of the legs if you like to help your calves and Achilles wake up and stretch out. And just allow yourself to reconnect with that breath. Breathing in right down into the belly. And breathing out. Now let your legs become still. You can keep a soft bend in those knees so that your hips can stay high. The heels in a regular down dog are going to stay pushing towards the floor, but they don't need to touch. But I want you now to come as high up onto the balls of your feet as you can. Pull your heels away from the mat, but don't allow your shoulders to go forwards. We're not shifting towards plank. It's a tippy toe down dog. Let your toes pivot and press your heels down towards the right side of your mat. So there's a bit of a twist going on in the torso. The left side feels longer. Inhale, rise back up onto the tippy toes. And then exhale, push your heels down in the left direction. Your right side body should feel longer. One more each side. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, heels down towards the right. If you have a very grippy mat, it's hard to pivot. So then inhale back to the center and exhale to push towards the left. Great. Draw yourself back to a straight old downward facing dog. We're going to inhale and send the right leg towards the sky for a 3-leg dog. And then as you exhale, just take a little step forwards, just a few inches onto the ball of the foot. We then go to the left leg. Inhale, lift it to the sky like a 3-legged dog. Exhale, step it forwards just a couple of inches, and then keep going. Inhale, lift the other leg. Exhale, step it forwards. Try to keep your hands down the whole time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forwards, and just keep compressing the body, drawing your feet to the top of the mat. It'll get harder and harder and harder the closer you get. Once you've got to the top of your mat, your feet are going to stay hip distance apart. Take a ragdoll fold so the knees stay a little bit bent, the belly rests to the thighs, the head dangles, and so do the arms. You can take a little sway of the body if you like. Let those hamstrings feel that length. Push the hips high, lean the weight a little bit more towards your toes. And then taking your hands to your waist, keep the soft bend in the knees, keep the chin towards the chest, and slowly allow your body to unravel, drawing yourself all the way up to stand towards the top of the mat, where your arms can release alongside your body. So make sure you're near the top of the mat and your feet are going to come together. We're going to start by moving through Sun Salute A, and we're going to start with one round of option 1. So, breathing in, send your arms to the sky, gaze up towards them. Exhale to forward fold, hands to the mat, bend those knees if you need to, dangle the head in front of the legs. Inhale, halfway rise, the chest pulls forward, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, hands to the floor, feet step back into a plank. Push the heels out backwards, broaden through your shoulder blades, inhale. On the exhale, we drop the knees down into a supported plank. Keep the elbows hugging in towards the body, keep the tailbone tucked, and lower the chest down to the floor with control. With the inhale, float your chest, float your hands, look forward, squeeze the muscles of the lower back. And with the exhale, hands go back to the floor, tuck those toes, lift the hips to the sky, and come back to down dog. We pause here, allowing the head to hang freely between the upper arms, pressing those thighs backwards, and just allow yourself to try to elongate the breath a little bit here. Draw that inhale. Slow down that exhale. Again, breathing in and breathing out. Good. As you inhale, look forwards to the top of the mat. If you prefer, you can walk. Otherwise, we're going to take a little jump, bend those knees, try and land in a forward fold rather than a squat. So keep your pelvis high. Inhale, lengthen the chest forwards, halfway rise, engage your quads. And exhale to forward fold. Hands to the mat, dangle your head in front of your shins. Use the inhale to rise all the way up to stand, arms alongside the ear, tailbone tucked. And exhale to release your hands alongside your body. You're very welcome to continue doing that variation and ignore all the other things that I'm going to say. So there's always the option to come back to that one if anything feels a little bit too challenging. So intermediate as you inhale, option 2, reaching tall. As you exhale, forward fold, hands to the mat, dangle your head loose through the shoulders and the neck. Inhale, lengthen the chest forwards, press the thighs backwards, half lift. Exhale, hands to the floor, feet step back into plank, heels push backwards, tailbone tucked, breathing in. So the difference now is as you exhale, you're going to drop those knees down as before, so into this supported plank. You're going to lower halfway to the floor, squeeze your elbows in towards your ribs. Press the tops of the feet into the mat, lift the chest, and then float your knees. So the only thing on the mat now is the hands and the tops of the feet. This is upward facing dog. Long neck, shoulders away from the ears, and then either turn the feet over or roll over the feet as you go back into down dog. So the difference being is that little baby cobra, which is that little skydiving shape, or upward facing dog. If you have a more advanced practice and you know this vinyasa without your knee support, of course you can take that instead. Couple more breaths. Inhale, push those hips high. Exhale, keep pressing the chest back to the legs. Last one, breathing in. And breathing out. Great, the inhale takes the gaze forwards. As always, option to walk. On the exhale, transition to the top of the mat, landing as lightly as you can if you're jumping. Inhale, halfway lift, long neck, long spine. Exhale to forward fold, hands to the mat, soft dangly head. Inhale, rise to stand, tailbone tucked, ribs hug in. And same again as you exhale, fold forwards and down, hands find the mat. Inhale, pulling the chest forwards, thighs push out behind you. Exhale, hands to the floor, feet step back into plank. Take an inhale, nice and strong through your arms, oppose the floor. Exhale, knees drop down. Your choice here, either halfway to the floor or all the way. Tops of the feet press down, float the knees, squeeze the lower back and pull your hips towards your wrists if you're doing your up dog. And then exhale to roll those hips back into the sky. Open out through the armpits and pause as you breathe in your down dog. Inhale. And exhale. Great, last one. Inhale here. And breathe it all the way out. The inhale takes your gaze back to the top of the mat. Think of sending your weight towards your fingertips as you take that little jump to help you land lightly. Inhale, pull that chest forwards, halfway lift. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale to rise to stand, arms go overhead, nice long straight line. And exhale to release your arms by your sides. Good, so that's our Sun Salute A. We're going to move to a Sun Salute B, of which I'm doing 2 options. So stick with me if you know otherwise. Bring your feet together, make sure the balls of your feet are touching. With your inhale, sit your bum backwards, sweep your arms down and then tall into chair pose. Thighs squeeze together, gaze up between the hands. On the exhale, belly towards thighs, forward fold, hands find the floor and the head dangles freely. Inhale, halfway lift, chest is long out in front of the legs. Exhale, hands go down, feet step back into your plank. Push those heels backwards, hollow out through the belly. Use the exhale, same options, either option 1 or option 2, your choice. Squeeze the elbows nice and close to the ribcage. Use the inhale to lift the chest in whichever option you've chosen. Squeeze your glutes. And then exhale to roll it all the way back and into down dog. So from here with your right leg, inhale, send it to the sky for a 3-legged dog. And then exhale, step this foot just behind your right wrist so it doesn't go as far as between the hands. Drop your back heel down so the toes now point out towards about 10 o'clock, and then rise your way up into warrior one. We've got the front knee bent on top of the front ankle. The arms are going to go up and overhead, and press your back heel down against the floor so it's different from a lunge. Usually you'd move here with one breath. It's too fast for me to be able to get the most out of the pose. So keep lunging forwards, keep lifting your rib cage, lengthen your tailbone down towards your back heel. Inhale as you hold here. And then exhale, hands come back to the mat, both feet step back, and then we move through the vinyasa, which is the little lower down thing. So you drop the knees, chest is a little forwards, either halfway to the mat or all the way. Inhale, tops of the feet down, float the knees, float the thighs, pull the chest up. And then exhale and back into down dog. We then move to the left side. Inhale, lift the leg up. Exhale, step that foot just behind your left wrist, not a too long a stride. Drop the back heel down, the toes point out towards 1 or 2 o'clock. Inhale, make sure your pelvis points forwards as you rise to stand and take your arms up and overhead. Lunging forwards into that front knee, pressing down into that back heel, and take the gaze a little upwards. Warrior one, inhale, holding here. And then exhale, take the hands back to the mat. It's a hard one, this one. Feet step back and into your plank, inhale. Here come the options. Option 1 or 2, drop those knees, chest forwards, halfway or all the way to the mat. Inhale, scooping the chest forwards, lower back squeezes, press down through the feet. And then exhale, making your way back into down dog. And now we pause for a few breaths here, which is always feeling like a welcome little pause when you move to the Sun Salute B. It's much more cardio intensive. A nice strong press into the hands, lengthening the sit bones tall, finding that heaviness through the heels. Breathing in and breathing out. Good, use your inhale to gaze forwards, top of the mat. Same as before, either take a walk or take a little jump or a float to the top of the mat. Your inhale is your halfway rise, long flat spine. And the exhale to forward fold over the legs. The inhale returns us into chair. So sink your hips back, squeeze your knees together, lift the arms and gaze up between them. And then exhale to stand yourself tall and release your arms by your side. We're going to move through my favourite variation of Sun Salute B now. It's a little bit different. We replace that warrior one with a high lunge. Inhale, sink the hips back, lift the chest, gaze between the hands. Exhale to forward fold, hands to the mat, soft across the neck and the shoulders. Inhale, chest pulls forwards. And then exhale, hands to the floor, feet are stepping back into your plank. Breathe in. Breathing out, knees down, either halfway or all the way to the mat. Squeeze the elbows inwards. Inhale, scoop through the chest. Pull your hip bones towards your wrists. Exhale, rolling back, down dog. Good, guys, keep with it. Inhale, right leg is going to lift to the sky. This time as you exhale, step your foot between your hands. So it is a nice long lunge. Keep onto the ball of the back foot and then inhale to rise into your high lunge. I much prefer this variation. It's much easier to move into your high lunge. Sink your hips forwards and down. Exhale, the hands come back to the mat. The foot steps back into plank and you have the same options again. Knees go down. Shoulders a little forwards, halfway, maybe go all the way to the mat if those arms are feeling tired. Inhale, that's chest scoops forwards, and exhale to roll yourself back and into down dog. Left side, inhale, three-legged dog, left leg to the sky. Exhale, that foot steps between the hands, stay onto the ball of the back foot. Inhale, lift your torso and chest away from your front thigh, arms up and overhead. And then exhale, hands to the mat. If you start to feel tired, go straight to down dog, otherwise into your plank. Exhale, knees down, either all the way to the mat or halfway. Keep the tailbone tucked. Inhale, chest pulls forwards, floating the thighs if you're in your upward dog. Exhale, into your down dog. And maybe you're getting a slight taste of what people mean when they say down dog is a resting pose. You take this opportunity to find stillness, to elongate the breath, to find softness in the face if perhaps things are starting to feel a little strained. Great, your final inhale and your exhale. With the inhale, take the gaze to the top of the mat. With the exhale, take a little hop or walk your feet to the top of the mat. The inhale is the halfway lift, shoulders pull away from the ears. And the exhale to forward fold. Inhale, sink the hips back, sweep the arms high, lift the gaze, lift the chest. And then exhale, release your hands alongside your body and just pause for a moment. If you're feeling hot and sweaty, then I feel like the Sun Salute B did its job. It's a very effective warm-up. It's quick, it's tricky, so well done for keeping up. We're going to move into a Sun Salute C, which is a front body opening pose. So this one is my personal favourite. With your inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. With the exhale, forward fold, lengthen those hamstrings, hands find the floor. Inhale, pull the chest forwards again, halfway lift. This is where it gets different. Exhale, hands to the floor. Just your right foot steps to the back of the mat. Drop your knee down and keep the toes tucked under. Inhale, lift and lengthen your chest into a low lunge. The hips stay drawing forwards and down. On the exhale, hands come down to the floor and the foot steps back into plank. So everybody can do the same option here because it's a different one for Sun Salute C. I want you to drop your knees down and then think of rolling your sit bones to the sky, much like when you do cow pose. Push your bum up, bend the elbows, aim your chest towards your thumbs and look forwards. And then trying to keep your knees and your hands where they are, inchworm your way down onto your belly, float through your chest, float your hands, baby cobra, just like before. Then on the exhale, push yourself back via the knees, hips into the sky and back into your down dog. There's no pause in the Sun Salute C. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, step that foot between the hands and drop the back knee to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest, squeeze your glutes and open the front of the body. And on the exhale, the hands come down to the mat. The back foot steps in, meets that front foot. Inhale, halfway rise. And exhale to forward fold. On the inhale, come all the way up to stand, arms overhead, tailbone tucks. It's a much longer Sun Salute because we have to do the second side. So exhale, folding over back to the floor. Inhale, long body, thighs pushing back. Exhale, hands to the mat, and it's the left foot this time. Big stride to the back of the mat and lower the knee to the floor. Inhale, chest rises, arms go overhead, and think of drawing the shoulder blades towards one another. Exhale, hands to the mat, foot steps back and into plank. Breathing in. Use that breath out, drop the knees down, roll the sit bones to the sky, look a little forwards as you aim your chest down to the mat to your thumbs. Use the inhale, ripple down onto the thighs and onto the belly, floating that chest and float your hands, squeeze the back muscles together. On the exhale, push yourself back, hips into the sky, downward facing dog. Left leg, inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, stepping it forwards between the hands, obviously give it the help to get there if it needs. Drop the back knee to the mat, breathing in as you rise into the low lunge, arms overhead, hips drive forwards and down, and exhale. Hands to the mat, back foot steps in, meets the front foot. With an inhale, halfway rise, and with an exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, take the arms above you, take the gaze with them. And then exhale, release your hands by your sides, just maybe close your eyes for a moment. Find stillness, find your breath if perhaps it's running away from you. And just feel the body buzzing with energy. So from here, we're going to move through some creative Sun Salutes now. So a little bit slower, a little bit less demanding on the body, and hopefully some fun and interesting poses for you. So I want you to stand onto your left leg and turn your right hand out so the palm faces away from you. Bend your right knee and come to hold the foot on the inside of the foot, so next to your big toe. Left arm reaches forwards as we come into dancer's pose. Start kicking the foot towards the sky and keep your chest lifted, so try not to fold forwards. Squeeze your right glutes to help that leg lift. Think of nice and strong. And you're opening across the front of that right chest as you hold your balance and keep your gaze steady on one point. Holding here or coming back to try and hold here if we're wobbling. And then on the exhale, see if you can let go of that foot, place it down to the back of the mat as you drop the back knee down to the floor. I forgot to mention, this one is a balancing sun salute. So inhale, lift your chest, arms up and over, just like before. Keep those back toes tucked under as you lift your ribs up and away from the hips. Draw the arms nice and close to the head and think of sending the arms a little further back behind or towards or behind the ears. Breathing in, breathing out. And then draw your hands down towards your waist. Take a little look over your right shoulder. Your right hand is going to come back to find your right heel as we come into a half camel. We're going to reach out through the left toes to see if we can straighten the left leg. That left arm can then reach the sky as we turn the chest to face the sky. If we're still balanced, you can keep sending that arm up and overhead. Think of your left sit bone pulling backwards, your right sit bone pushing forwards. Squeeze those right glutes and hold your core tight to maintain your balance. Inhale. And then strength, see if you can come all the way back to the top of the mat. Hands come down either side of the foot. Step your foot back and into plank. Breathing in, we're vinyasing. Exhale, we're going to drop the knees, roll the sit bones to the sky, look forwards, and your chest lowers down to your thumbs. Inhale, rippling down onto the belly, and then floating through the chest, floating through the hands. Exhale, rolling back, and hips into the sky for your downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath in to find that length. And a slow breath out to keep pressing into the hands. With the right leg, inhale, send it to the sky, three-legged dog, reach through those top toes. Exhale, step that foot between the hands, the top of the mat, and keep your back knee lifted this time. We're going to rise into a high lunge. Front knee is roughly on top of the front ankle, and the hips are sinking down towards the mat. Press away through your back heel. This might be where you want to use a strap. We're going to take our right arm up and overhead and reach down between the shoulder blades. Left hand comes to see if it can find the fingertips, and you can use a strap to bridge the gap if you're not quite there. You can choose to stay here if you want to make it even more balancy. See if you can lift your front heel off of the mat so that you're on your very highest tippy toes. Focus the breath. Focus the gaze. And ignore that burning in your front leg. Breathing in. And then drop the heel down if you lifted it. Lean your body weight into this front leg. We're going to see if we can come into a warrior three, keeping our arms in this bind. So a little hop of the back leg. Reach the leg towards the back of the room. Keep your chest lengthening forwards. The pelvis and the chest face the floor. Strong into that right leg. Holding. Squeezing the back muscles. Really good, guys. Inhale, hold. And then exhale, stand tall. Release your bind. Both feet should be back at the front of the mat. Oh, that's challenging on that right leg. Let's give the left leg just as much work. So we're coming into dancers. Right foot stays down. Left palm turns outwards. Come to hold the big toe side of the foot. Right arm reaches out in front of us. And allow those toes to kick towards the sky. Keep dropping the left hip slightly downwards. Try not to open into the hip just to get the leg higher. Take a deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, see if you can let go of the foot and with control, step the foot to the back of the mat and drop down onto the back knee. Keep those back toes tucked under and inhale, come into the low lunge. Drawing the rib cage up and away from the hips. driving the hips forwards and down. Inhale and exhale. And then let your hands come down towards your waist. Take a little look over your left shoulder. Start to shift your weight backwards as your left hand comes to rest onto the heel. You can either crawl your toes away from you, or you can see if you can lengthen the leg from where you are. Right arm goes to the sky, chest turns to the sky. Option for that right arm to go all the way overhead alongside your ear. Try to keep the pelvis square. Push the left side of your hips forwards. Pull the right side of your hips back. Breathe in and breathe out. Good, strong to draw the body forwards. Wobble, 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 hands to the floor and the foot steps back and into plank. Breathing in. On the breath out, drop the knees, roll the sit bones to the sky, look forwards, chest lowers down to the thumbs, squeeze the elbows in. Inhale, ripple down onto the belly, float the chest, float the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other, and then exhale, rolling back and into down dog. Take a nice deep breath in, push the sit bones tall. Use the breath out to find softness and calm within the body. With your left leg, inhale, reach it to the sky. Exhale, step that foot between the hands, right to the top of the mat, keep your back knee lifted. Push away through the back heel, lunge into the front knee, and then lifting your torso into your high lunge. From here, it's the left arm that reaches up and down between the shoulder blades. The right hand sees if it can wriggle its way up to find that bind. Option to use your strap or just hold on to your shirt if you need to. You can make the balance even trickier if you'd like by pulling your front heel off of the mat and giving that front calf a good old workout. Stay steady, stay strong, stay calm. Breathing in. And then lean your body weight into this front leg. Take a little hop of the back leg to leave the floor. Warrior 3 with your cow face arms. Push away through your back heel, pull forwards with your chest. Keep the gaze steady, breathe in. And then breathing out. Feet to come together, undo that bind and give that a little shake off as you find yourself back at the top of the mat. So that was our balancing sun salute. We're now moving on to a twisting. So with a deep breath in, reach those arms up and overhead. And as you breathe out, interlace your hands behind you. Let your knees bend as you fold forwards. Think of sandwiching your belly and your thighs together. Let your head dangle in front of the legs as you lift the fist away from the body. Let your gaze turn a little bit towards the right as you bend your left knee and see if your left shoulder can come a little closer to that left knee. And then switch all the way over to the other side, look a little bit towards the left and let your fist fall a little bit towards the right. Coming all the way back to centre, releasing your hands and stepping your right foot to the back of the mat. Keep the knee lifted. Right hand stays on the floor. Inhale, left arm to the sky, rotating the chest, turning the torso, and the gaze goes with the fingertips. Inhale. And then exhale, hand to the floor, foot steps back into plank. So here are your either option 1 or option 2, and if you don't like either 1 or 2, go straight to down dog. Dropping the knees to the mat, bending the elbows close to the ribs, either halfway to the floor or all the way, and then pressing into the tops of the feet, floating the chest. If you went all the way to the mat, you can float your chest and float your hands. Exhale, rolling it back into your downward facing dog. Find a nice firm push into the hands to send the body weight back towards the legs. And then taking your right hand and reaching towards your left ankle, so crossing over the body, twisting. Send the gaze under the left armpit, up towards the sky, and keep strong through that left arm, pushing the body weight back. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. Place that hand back onto the mat. Your right foot is going to follow and come between the hands. Drop your back knee down to the floor and we're back into a little low lunge. With one inhale, lift your torso and arms overhead. Think of length in this left side of the body, and then exhale to hook the elbow around the thigh. Press the hands together as you rotate to turn and look over your right shoulder. Keep those hips driving forwards and down. Draw your belly in towards your spine to help your body rotate, and keep lengthening out through the roof of your head, out towards the top of the mat. Inhale and exhale. Good. So from here, I guess it's a twist and a balance. I want you to lift your back knee off of the mat into a long lunge. The back foot is going to step in to mirror the front foot as you stay twisted and find yourself into a twisted chair. So still twisting towards the right side. Get the two knobbly bits of the knees pressing together. Push the elbow into the thigh and take a nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, I want you to bend your knees and come down into a little squat. So I'm just going to move back so I don't feel like I'm coming off the side of the screen. So we've come down into a little squat and we've got an opportunity to work on an arm balance here. So we're going to move into side crow. We are all twisting towards the right. We were just here in our twisted chair. I want you to take your hands down onto the mat, pointing off the right side, so in the same way that I'm going here. Your front thigh next to your kneecap is going to rest onto the back of your left elbow, and the chunky part of your hip on your sort of right bum is going to rest onto your right elbow. So there's 2 points on the leg. They're going to rest onto two little parts of a shelf that we're going to make. So our hands go like they would for a plank, twisted off to the right side. My knees are still pointing forwards. I take those two parts of the leg to rest onto the back of the arms and think of sandwiching them together. Legs are squeezing together. I'm going to send my chest forwards in front of my fingertips and see if that counterbalance means that my toes will leave the floor. If you're experienced with your side crow, you can try taking this into your EPK1, which means you're going to extend your bottom leg and your top leg to reach towards the sky. If you're new to working on your arm balances, just keep thinking of sending chest forwards, gripping the floor with your fingertips and holding your belly in firm. Wherever you are with trying this or seeing or watching with absolute confusion, bring your feet back onto the mat, facing back forwards, and then inhale, rise your way all the way back up to stand. Bring yourself to the top of the mat as we're going to use that sun salute on the other side. So inhale, arms reaching up and over. Exhale, hands go behind our back, interlace into a fist. Allow the body to fold forward, soft bend in the knees, belly and thighs together, head dangles as your fist lifts up and overhead. Take a little look towards your left, bend your right shoulder towards right knee. And then all the way to the other side, look a little bit towards the right and let your fist fall a little bit towards the left. Draw yourself all the way back to the centre. Take your hands down to the floor and your left foot to step to the back of the mat. Keep the knee lifted. The left hand is going to stay onto the mat and inhale, right arm to the sky. Keep driving your hips forwards and down, pulling your belly in to allow your body to twist. Inhale. Exhale, hand to the floor, foot steps back into plank. We have our option 1 or option 2. The knees drop down, the tailbone stays tucked under, elbows close to the rib cage, either halfway to the floor or lower all the way down. Press down through the tops of the feet, float those thighs, pull your hips towards your wrists, breathe in. And then breathing out. Make your way back into downward facing dog, finding that length, finding that push, and finding that softness across the face. This time, it'll be the left hand that comes to grab the right ankle. Aim for the inner ankle if that's available to you, or a little higher up if it's not. Gaze goes under the shoulder. Drop the left shoulder towards the mat as you pull against your ankle. Strong through that right arm, breathing in, twisted down dog. Breathing out, place the hand back down, the left foot follows it and steps between the hands. Drop your back knee to the floor and into your low lunge. Take one inhale to grow tall, lifting, lengthening. Think of a long right side of the body. Exhale, hook that elbow around the thigh as you twist to your left. Press the hands together, push the elbow into the thigh and find that rotation. Keep focusing on that breathing. Inhale, lengthen the chest. Exhale, finding that twist. Good, so moving, staying into this twist, press into the ball of the back foot and lift the back knee, so you're into a higher lunge. Try to maintain the twist as you step the back foot in to mirror the front foot and into your twisted chair. The weight is more towards the heels, pushing the arm into the leg to help the body rotate. Holding, breathing in. Holding, breathing out. Good. Turn yourself back towards center and just allow yourself to come back down into a little squat as we try our arm balance on the other side. So we're twisting towards the left side, just like we were doing in that twisted chair. I'm going to turn so that you can actually see what I'm doing. So you've turned to that one side. You're thinking of the thighs gluing together. Go straight ahead if you know your side crow. Glue those thighs together. Hands shoulder width apart. Grip the floor as though there was a handful of sand that you were trying to grab hold of. Lift the hips away from your heels a little bit. Look forwards. Press that knee and hip together onto the elbow and see if those toes will leave the floor. Often with arm balances, your hurdle will be the fear factor of falling to the floor. So as with crow, which we've done before, throw a cushion onto the floor in front of you so that if you do take a little too much far forwards, you've got yourself a nice soft landing. If you've finished on that side crow, or perhaps you took your EPK1, drop your feet back to the floor and then inhale, rise your way up to stand. And as you exhale, release your hands and make sure you're back towards the top of your mat. Let me just reshuffle. So moving on now, we've done balancing, we've done twisting. We're going to do a nice hippie sun salutation. And I mean that in the sense of anatomy, not anything else. So from here, we are going to lift our right leg and come into this figure 4 shape. So the ankle crosses over the thigh, the knee falls away from the body. Think of it like a funky chair. So it's chair pose, but with this right leg lifted. Flex the foot and push the hips backwards. You should feel a stretch in this outer right hip. Your hands can come together in front of your chest as you sink those hips a little bit lower. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good. Now see if you can take that leg off of the other leg. Step it to the back of the mat as the hands come to the floor. With that back foot, drop the heel down so the toes point towards the right side of the mat, and then let your left arm come next to your big toe as you inhale and send your right arm to the sky. If this is too deep, if this is too intense, bring your forearm onto the thigh instead. It's an extended side angle. Pull your hips into the midline of the mat. Push your front knee wide towards the left side of the mat. Inhale, open that chest, barrel roll it to the sky. And then exhale. Take your hands to the floor, all toes point forwards, and then stepping your front foot back. Let's go straight into down dog. If you'd like to take your vinyasa, you're very welcome to. Breathing in. Breathing out. Again, breathe in. And breathing out. So with your right leg, as you inhale, lift it to the sky, 3-legged dog. We're then going to open the hip because it's a hippie sun salute. So turn your pelvis to face the right side. Bend the knee that's in the sky. Think of your heel falling towards your bum and your chest rotates a little bit towards the right as well. Inhale, hold here. And then exhale, draw that knee forward. Place your knee down just behind your right wrist. We're coming into pigeon. The front shin is diagonal across the mat. Drop your back knee down and wriggle that back foot away from you until the point that you have this stretch in this outer right hip, maybe a little bit on the inside as well, and then untuck your back toes. You can let yourself come down onto the forearms if that's comfortable, but keep your chest lengthening forwards and trying to keep your pelvis nice and level. So try not to sit more to one side than the other. Breathing in, pull the chest out long. Breathing out. You're welcome to stay here for your last couple of breaths, or if you're still feeling like you've got the energy and the buzz, you can lift your torso up and away from your front leg. You're going to bend your back knee and think of your toes going towards the sky. Your pelvis will lift, it doesn't really matter. First, you're going to take your left hand and see if you can hold your ankle. So aim for your ankle rather than your foot, and you can flex your foot to keep it Keep a good grip. Think of a nice firm push of your front leg down into the floor, and maybe then see if your right hand can go grab the leg as well. You can then kick your leg towards the back of the mat as you squeeze your shoulder blades together and feel this nice puff open of the front of the chest. Just an option. If suddenly you're like, what? Then you can either leave one hand down or you can stay into your folded pigeon. Breathing in. And then gently letting go of that leg if you took it, stepping the foot back to the mat. Wiggle your foot in until you can step into your down dog, hips to the sky, press the thighs to the back of the room. Use your inhale to take the gaze forwards just beyond the fingertips. And the exhale to either walk or take your little hop to bring the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway rise. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale, rising up to stand. Draw the arms up and overhead. Strong core, keep your belly braced. And then exhale, release your hands. Let's take that sequence on the other side. So standing on the right leg, you're going to lift the left knee, cross the ankle over the thigh, push your hips backwards. The balance becomes easier the lower down that you squat, so use that as your motivation to keep sinking the pelvis low. Hands come together in front of your chest, press the ankle into the thigh and drop that left knee away from the body. Keep your chest that little bit lifted, sink the pelvis a little bit lower. Breathing in. And then see if you can maintain your balance as you release the leg off of the thigh, step it to the back of the mat as your hands come down to the floor. The back heel is going to drop down so that the toes point out towards the left side, and then right hand either next to your big toe or again onto your thigh if that felt too intense. Inhale, left arm to the sky, turn the chest to go with it and keep lunging into that front leg. Pull your hips underneath. So it's like hips towards the left and chest towards the right to help keep your body in that one line. Breathing in. We're nearly there, guys. Breathing out. Hands to the mat. Stepping back either through your vinyasa if you would like, or if you're starting to feel a little tired, you can go straight into down dog. Your choice, whichever feels most suitable for you at this point. Breathing in. Breathing out. So left leg, inhale to the sky. You can keep it straight to begin with. And then bend the knee in the sky. Turn the pelvis to face the left side. Heel pulls towards the bum and your gaze can go a little under that left arm as the torso turns too. Holding as you breathe in. And then breathing out, we're drawing the knee towards the left wrist. So left knee to left wrist. The shin is diagonal across the mat. The back knee rests down. The leg wiggles away from you until you find that point where the body doesn't really want to go any further. Making sure your back leg is directly out behind you and the knees and the toes point down, so there's no sort of leg cocked off to one side. From there, you may want to come down to forearms. You may want to go all the way down to your forehead. Keep giving your front leg, your front shin, a gentle encouragement down into the mat to give it a bit of a push. Keep lengthening the chest and keep sinking the body weight. Option to stay here if you're having a nice time here, or if you're not, if you're already at your edge. You could walk your hands in to stack your chest as tall as you can on top of your pelvis. The back knee is going to bend. Press that knee down to help give you stability, as well as pressing your front shin down. First, let your right hand go to find that grip. It'll be easier for your right hand. You can start kicking away already. That might help you lift that left hand if that was struggling. Kick the leg backwards to help pull the chest up and back. Maybe that left hand can find the ankle as well as you keep that chest broad and lift your chin slightly away from your chest. Strong into the leg. Press down. Think of rising up. Really hard variation here, guys, so if you're struggling, I'm sure you're not alone. Breathe in and then breathing out. Try not to let that leg just whip away from you. Wiggle the back leg in a little bit until you've got some space, and then we're going to move on from here. So instead of moving through the salutation, just swipe your knee back into tabletop. Widen the knees to be about as wide as the mat, big toes to touch, and sink yourself back into child's pose, just where we started. You can let those elbows rest down and take a nice soft variation, a well-deserved soft variation. Filling the lungs as you breathe in, softening the face as you breathe out. Good. Gently press your way back up into tabletop. Let those knees come a little bit more narrow, hip distance apart. We're going to walk the hands out into puppy. Leave your pelvis on top of your knees. Hands walk forwards. Forehead comes to rest the mat. If you'd like to take a softer variation, you can drop the elbows down just like you would in your child's pose. Otherwise, keep those elbows lifted as the fingertips reach away. Feel your chest broaden as you breathe in. Feel the body soften and sink as you breathe out. Good, and then lifting your gaze to look forwards. You're going to shift the body forwards and down so that we're coming down onto our bellies, onto our chest. Lots of upper body strength in our vinyasas, so let's take a nice upper body stretch. With the chest facing down, the right arm to reach out, palm faces the floor, and just make sure it's out alongside your shoulder. Use your left hand to roll your body onto that right side. Rest the head down so that you're not holding on to a heavy head, and just allow yourself to sink down here. If you're having trouble staying on the one side, your top leg, your left leg, can just step off behind you. That will also sort of deepen that stretch, so there's an option there if you'd like to take it. If this doesn't particularly stretch your chest, you can bend your elbow and take the arm a little bit more like a cactus shape, but it makes it quite a lot more intense, so go easy if you're trying that. And then rolling back onto your belly. Coming to stretch the other side, so left arm reaches out, palm faces down, option to bend that elbow if you want to. Roll onto that left side, use your right hand to help roll your body over, and you can always just step your top leg off behind to help keep the body weight over in this direction. Great, roll yourself back onto your belly. Taking your hands under your chest, push your way up onto your knees, and then you can just step your knees in, cross your ankles behind you as you roll your bum back to seated, or come a different way if that way doesn't work for you. Take a simple cross-legged shape, and as you breathe in, reach your arms high. Turn the palms to face forwards, and as you exhale, fold over your legs. Hands to the mat, your head to dangle between your upper arms. Think of your bum scooting out towards the back of the mat as your fingertips reach forwards, finding that length in the body. You can then walk those hands in, finding some space onto the mat behind you, feet onto the mat, knees to be bent. Arms reach forwards as a little bit of a counterbalance as you come all the way down onto your back. Squeezing your knees into your chest, giving yourself a little hug, a little squeeze. And then stepping your legs out, releasing them. Releasing your arms as well alongside you. Finding that shape of complete rest. Feeling that buzz of energy within the body start to slow down and wind down. Keeping the attention and focus on the breath. Feeling the beat of the heart start to move a little slower. Finding complete softness across your face. Complete release within the limbs. And then take yourself a deep breath in. Maybe a big stretch up above the head. Your knees can then hug back into the body to give yourself a soft little hug. And then a soft roll up to seated into a comfortable cross-legged shape. Use your final inhale to circle your arms wide and high to the sky. And your final breath out to lower your hands to your belly and your chin to your chest. Well done, guys, and thank you for joining me this evening. A tough class, as in very demanding. Sun Salutations are very, almost like cardio based. It's a lot of movement. You don't hold things for very long, as well as it being quite strength focused. So if you felt that was tough, it's because it is tough. If you have any questions, as always, do let me know. I like to talk about yoga all day, every day, so you can ask me anything you like. Hopefully you can join me again for another class. Thursdays are generally a little bit easier. It's a more sort of beginner level, whereas this was a little bit more towards intermediates. Or we have Sunday mornings, which is just another sort of variation. If you are able to contribute and donate towards these classes, your support is very much appreciated, and the link is in the description below this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I say, leave me a comment or give me a little like if you like, and I hope to see you again soon.